everyone. Welcome to the Very Connected podcast. And we are here with Beth at Curvy Girl Beth. And she's joining us today to talk about her journey. We're talking about thriving after 20 years of having the gastric bypass surgery. We're so pleased to have you, Beth, here with us. I met Beth at the WLSFA conference here recently in New Orleans, and I
Yeah.
knew with her energetic personality and just such great information and such pizzazz, I don't know how else to say it, that Beth needed to be on here with us. So she's joining us, and I want to allow her to kind of do even just a more formal introduction. She has a whole host of things that she does. She basically is on all, I would say almost all social media
Of
forums,
course.
and
Sure.
does a lot of influencing, is what I'm going to call it through that, on not only bariatric surgery topics but fashion. She's a fashion model, and also she is an advocate for lipedema. So, Beth, at that, I'm going to kind of just allow you to take over, and I'm going to check on our other platforms to see how we're doing on those. So I'm going to pause and mute myself. So just for a moment.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Beth Rylaarsdam, and I am known as Curvy Girl Beth across socials since 2019. And almost 20, November 6th will be 20 years, my 20-year anniversary of having the RNY gastric bypass. And it has been a pretty successful 20 years. I started at 404 pounds, that that surgical journey, and over the first 18 months, let go of 230 of those pounds. And was really in fighting shape. And I would say that the way that I accomplished that is through very precise exercise and nutrition. So for 30 minutes, 6 days a week, I was in the gym weightlifting with maybe 20 to 30 minutes of cardio, typically the recumbent bike, the elliptical, or the treadmill. And then continued that for, I don't know, at least 3 years or so, maybe 4 years. And then also really prioritizing protein, and really didn't have much carbs. Certainly no processed carbs were in my life during that initial phase, for sure. And really was a life-changing surgery. I knew that if I went into surgery and I made it through surgery, that it was going to be, I would be successful, because I knew that I would do everything in my power to make those changes. And background story, the way that I got to be 404 pounds is my mother passed away. And in trying to get to connect, I lost that connection. I lost my biggest connection in life. And to be surrounded by people that I loved, and loved me back, I would go to lunch at work with people, who I worked with. And then I would go out to dinner with my friends. Maybe, although I don't remember this, I don't remember what I used to have for breakfast, honestly. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Been too
But
long.
in any case, those were very carb heavy days. Or, you know what? I shouldn't even say that. I should say that I would go to a restaurant. So, for instance, at lunchtime, I worked next to the Cheesecake Factory. So we would go to the Cheesecake Factory, but I would eat my plate. So I would eat, even if I got the chicken lettuce wraps, I ate them all. And if there was bread on the table, I was certainly one of the people who was eating them. And this may skip ahead in my journey, but since um, Brenda already spoke about it, in 2017, so 15 years into my journey with having successful, thriving outcomes of the RNY, I learned that I had this disease called lipedema. And it's just exactly what it sounds like. Lipid, like fat, edema, like swelling, typically swollen fat. We've now learned that it is actually a connective tissue disorder that typically presents itself in puberty, pregnancy, or menopause, but sometimes is brought, or I believe that it is uh, in your body from birth. It just gets activated. That's how I think of it. And I think those are the times that activate it. And sometimes it's activated by contraception and also by trauma or surgeries. So, in any case, one of the things that's very important in managing or controlling this disease, lipedema, is to have non-inflammatory nutrition as well as movement. And so at that time, after my mother passed, I was certainly having inflammatory nutrition because for me personally, I am gluten sensitive. So anytime I even look at a piece of bread that is wheat, and maybe even not, because I think I'm pretty grain. My body doesn't like grains either. I would just gain weight. So never thought, well, why am I gaining, 100 pounds over a year? But all the people who went with me to lunch, who also ate their plate, they weren't gaining. I just thought because when I was a child, I probably started into that lipedema journey at about age 8. And then I was always classified as, having to control my weight or, that kind of thing. I was the typical story, went on my first diet when I was in the 4th grade, went to Weight Watchers when I was in the 8th grade, all these kinds of things. But ultimately, I weighed only 140 pounds throughout high school and into college. I think I graduated college at 180 pounds. And, for all intents purposes, in my mind, I was told that I should weigh 120 pounds, 125 pounds, because I was 5'5". And so I didn't. So I must be overweight, right? But had I lived my life on the weekends, dancing, for fun. So, had I maintained those things during my adulthood and certainly during that time when my mother had passed, maybe there would have been some different outcome. But I truly believe that the interaction of the food and it was like a firestorm for the lipedema. And so let me tell you what lipedema is real fast. So lipedema affects 11% of women. That's 1 in 9. And it is typically an additional layer of adipose tissue from the waist down and in the upper arms. Oh, Brenda, do you have that? We can show a bit later if you have access to show the Instagram.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking that's probably a good time now because I think like
Okay,
people will be able to relate to it. There are a couple of things I'm just real quickly just gonna
there's questions
interject if
coming
that's
up.
okay. If just
Sure.
because
Yeah.
there was somebody asking, is this all lipedema edema specific? And to answer your question, no.
No.
Beth's also going to be kind of talking about her weight loss journey. She had the ruin why,
Yes.
but she's interjecting it because um, she'll explain why. She's interjecting it because she had expectations about her weight loss journey,
Correct.
and that lipedema actually there was some thought processes around that, how that kind of changed her journey and ways of thinking. So, and also she's bringing awareness to it, because I know as a bariatric coordinator for 8 years, before working with ProCare Health, we had lots of patients that had problems with lipedema. So I feel like it's very helpful for those people who are suffering from that, and kind of like expectations wise. I also want to say, Beth, I want to mention that there was somebody asking a question, and I'm going to kind of interject. You can answer that now or later, but I also want to say too, at the beginning, I always usually do mention too, if any of you
Mhm.
are attending from a specific program and are pre-op and are needing this for insurance verification, this program today, comment in the Q&A box and let me know what program you're with, and I can send your verification of attendance through that. So I just wanted to say that. Also, there was somebody who couple people have already said that they really relate to your story, Beth. Laura says she
Mhm.
relates, and then also Elizabeth talks about she's very interested in the weightlifting routine. So as you kind of go
Yes.
through, at some point I may have you share a little bit about that. But while you're talking, I'm going to allow you to continue talking. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and jump on a couple of your pictures so that people can kind of process, your journey a little better. Does that sound okay?
Yes, absolutely. And let me, while we're here, I just have the old-fashioned
Oh
pictures.
yeah, let's do that first.
So this is in 2001, and I weighed about 385 here. And I don't know that you can see it so well because of the glare, but this was at the Trevi Fountain in Italy, and I was on a trip. You can see actually the swelling in my ankles then, which is classic for lipedema. Um, or here's another one. So although I did get higher than this, um, you can see a little bit of difference. So, and then since we're doing that while Brenda's pulling up, um, here is um, where I kind of finished out at, uh, which is kind of different. And if you want to see that on that first trip, I did the same thing. I climbed to the top of the Vatican even then. Oh, I see what's happening. I have Christmas tree lights in my guest house here. That was flashing
Beth,
too.
actually that worked pretty good, but I think it too also sharing the others would be great, cuz I think knowing where you were
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
I'm writing down someone's name from Facebook. So we have some people on Facebook that are joining us. I want to say hi to them too
Okay.
as well. Um,
Okay.
okay, people are able to see your pictures now. I am going to jump over. So you're going to see me share my screen here.
Mhm.
And, okay. And I am going to jump up to Beth's Instagram page. I got it set up here. So, Beth, this is your Instagram page. And Beth on all social media sites is Curvy Girl Beth. So, whether you go on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, she has them all. And Beth, which picture? We kind of talked about this yesterday.
If you go to the purple picture, please.
Okay, and I don't know if
That's
the
really
sound
where
will
you
be
see it
on,
all.
so we'll
Yeah,
just
it does.
allow.
I mean, if you could just leave it as is there a way to stop it?
Yeah,
Um, it,
let's do
so
it where your face isn't crazy.
yeah. Well, I don't know if we can get to that, but so what I'm talking about here is from the waist down. You see the additional, the hips, the thighs. This is a good part. The little pad next to the knee, that's called the knee pad. When I was growing up, I've always had like no knees, and I used to call it baby knees. because I didn't know that it was something. I just, we used to joke and say I never lost my baby fat. But evidently, this is a classic hallmark of lipedema. And there's also, let's see, hit it to go forward for a second, because now you make me think of something else that's important. When I turn to the side, and you see how there's like a little hanging part of the hip. Okay, when I turn to the side, see that, see the front of my thigh, how it curves? Well, that is also sort of a little bit of another hallmark. And bruising is what I had just pointed out there, is a hallmark. Also, if you have cold skin to the touch, this is, so I'm the classic shape. 80% of women have lipedema in their upper arms too, which I guess I'm not really officially showing here. But you can obviously see that, they're not thin.
So,
but,
Beth, let me ask you this. I'm going to kind of interject here.
Mhm.
Um, because somebody had asked, is this just about lipedema? Tell us,
It's definitely not.
tell us why you're bringing up this topic and why you're so passionate about it. What, after your
So
RNY journey?
I'm talking about lipedema because once I learned about lipedema in 2017, I was mind blown. And I thought that it was shocking that I had been to so many doctors over so many years who nobody ever told me anything about it. And one of the reasons why I feel that it's extremely important to create awareness is because had I ever known about this, I don't know that it would have changed my decision to have gastric bypass, because I needed to lose my natural fat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because lipedema is like this extra layer is like nodules under the skin, and some of them are like grains of sand, and some of them are like pearls. Like if you actually felt my arms here, it would feel like a bag of pearls. And one of the reasons that I think that this is important to know is that if you do go down the bariatric surgery journey, um, you have to have expectations, or if you're working out, you have to have expectations that your shape is not going to change, because the lipedema is not going to go away. It is, maybe it becomes less inflamed, depends who you ask about that. But typically, it's going to remain with you to some degree. And you are, I thought that I was going to look like Twiggy when I was finished, because I thought that I was going to get to that 120 pounds. And I thought that I was going um, to look like a woman who actually came to our group. So pre-surgery, I was required to do 6 months of, okay, well now that's just silly stuff, so we don't need to see that. um,
I
I
had to, I
was,
had to, I had to change the show a little bit.
okay, I was, I was expected to do 6 months with the group. And while doing that, a woman came in to talk to us who was like 12 years out from, I think, the duodenal switch, maybe. And she weighed 112 pounds. And I was like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. Well, nobody ever told me, Beth, you're not going to be able to do that because your body will not support that, because you have all of this lipedema inside of your body. And lipedema actually weighs more than regular fat. So you're always going to weigh more on the scale than you look. And you're not going to be able to change the shape of your legs. They're going to be the same legs. You're not going to go from having thick thighs and thick calves to all of a sudden being, bow-legged and like Twiggy. It's not going to happen. And so what I think is important to know is, I think that it's important for the doctors to know, because although this was discovered in 1940, there still is very little awareness within the medical community, as well as like if you're working with a nutritionist, or you're working with a trainer. I want to let people know that they should have clear expectations that yes, they are going to reduce. But as you can see, at no point does that look like I have twiggy legs, right?
Beth, let me ask you this. So, what would you say the necessity with whatever a person is on their journey, whether they
Mhm,
have this other disease or don't,
mhm.
and they're going through bariatric surgery? What would you say the necessity is consistent with, like your eating styles, your vitamins, your weightlifting
So
movements?
here's the thing.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The beauty of the bariatric journey, in my opinion, is that if you are pulling out all of the stops and you are following, so at the time that I had surgery, the people who had the most successful outcomes were out of a group in Colorado, and everyone within that group that had high success was making sure that they had in 120 grams of protein per day and 120 ounces of water per day. And that is extremely helpful for everyone, whether you have, regardless of what your co-conditions are, right? So I believe that that was part of why I was so successful, because I was protein focused and I was movement focused. And I think that that is a recipe for success for anyone. Um, and in managing lipedema, those two things are what you have to do. You have to follow non-inflammatory eating, and you have to follow movement daily. So somebody who suffers from obesity absolutely has to do the same thing, which is what we heard over and over at WLSFA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also at Obesity Help. These are not new ideas in any way. And I can tell you from my own personal experience that over the 20 years, when there was movement involved, there was consistency, there was, I maintained muscle mass, I maintained strength, and it made everything easier. I think that the reason why I did the weight training was because it was a requirement for me from my surgeon, because he wanted to ensure that I had the best outcome, where I was not going to have any muscle wasting, where I was not going to have where I was going to have the best skin retraction possible, and that was going to go hand in hand with prioritizing the protein. And so I think that is, I think it's still a recipe for success. I know that, there are some programs where, people just focus on eating everything and they eat less of it. And they eat only a cup, but they are eating the same things that they ate before. Well, guess what? If you're doing that and you're eating processed foods, you're still going to find inflammation. And so you're not having the best results that you can have. Or if you're not including exercise, in particular, while you're in the weight loss phase, weight training, you're likely going to have more excess skin that you then have to deal with later.
So Beth, let me ask you
And
this too. Whenever you're talking about transformation wise, what would you say? Do you think it's important to track your progress, like through pictures? Um,
yes, so I think that pictures are an incredible tool. I think that most people who have dealt with weight issues likely do not have a clear sense of themselves physically. I think there's probably a bit of disconnect that occurs. And as you're going through this journey, I think that you have to learn through pictures, and luckily now we have selfies, um, what your body actually looks like. And so I would say that taking a picture of yourself monthly is essential, so that you can start to connect with yourself and start to learn and start to realize that your journey is only about you, because now we have social media, right? And now we see how everybody else's journey is going. And sometimes we forget that that's really the highlight reel, right? Like the other day, Brenda and I were on, and my hair was crazy. My hair was crazy. And I
I
said, I
think it looked
promise, Brenda,
crazy.
I said, I promise my hair will look better on Wednesday. So, but you all didn't see that, right? You know, I didn't come on. I mean, I do come on sometimes looking crazy because I'm all about authenticity, but that's a whole separate story.
Well,
But,
Beth, too,
you
I
know,
know you share your story on authentically and on all social forums and are very transparent about where you are, your size, your curves, because you're called Curvy Girl Beth. I love that.
right,
And
right.
I think so. I wanted to bring up a point here too. What do you think? Like, I feel like that you make fashion statements everywhere you go because you have this unique fashion sense. So, what would you say about dressing? Like, I'm actually going to go back to
So
your page
this
just
is,
for a second while you're talking because you shared so many different I'm gonna go to social media here. You actually, like, looking at these pictures, you have a fashion sense. I mean, I love this.
yeah, fashion has always been my life. Oh, that's my cute little boy who's now 16.
Oh.
Um, yeah, I was very lucky because my mother instilled, that, if you're a little bit outside societal's norm, you got to be making sure that you're looking good at all times. So I have always followed that, philosophy, and I help other people learn that. So one of the things that I believe that's really important during the bariatric journey, during the weight loss phase, is that you actually continue to dress your body for your size. And so, and recognize that that may change over time, that you need essential pieces. And I believe that you can do that on very cost effectively by, utilizing the discount stores like Ross and Marshalls and TJ Maxx and, even Walmart, or making sure that you attend sales at places like J.C. Penney's and Macy's. All of these things, and now we have Amazon. To me, Amazon is a little harder in the weight loss phase because unless you have a lot of patience, because there's a lot involved in, okay, you order one size up, one size down, the size you think you are, then you probably should order one size down and one size up because you never know how the garment goes. And then, you have to be sure that you're then going to turn them and all that. And so, you can get into a circuitous, like it can be a lot. Um, but I think that going in person can be helpful to, again, connect with yourself. Like, you're in the dressing room and you're like, wait, is that me? Or wait, I'm taking this size, and oh, and I think that one of the things I think that is consistent with people who choose to go through the weight loss surgery route is that they are hopeful and they are looking to improve themselves and their lives. And this is one way that they're doing that. And so, I think that you have to carry your image along with that. And maybe you're going to elevate your image during that time. And I certainly help people do that with, uh, you know, private clients and all of that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that is exceptionally important. And there are some places where there's even clothing swaps. Um, and so, there's just so many ways that you can make sure. And I think it's also part of challenging yourself because you're like likely you it takes your brain longer to catch up with your actual physical reality. And that's something, that body dysmorphia is real, and it's not something that weight loss surgery patients typically escape. And that's why I think that it's really important for you to get that monthly picture in and be like, oh, and then also for when you're in places where you feel like nothing is happening. And then you can see the changes over time. And it's a process, it is a process. It's certainly a 2-year process where, you have the highest benefit from the tool. And, during that time, that's the golden hour. That's when everything, you should be all in. And, then after that, then you have to kind of really look at what activities are you going to maintain this new life.
So, Beth, it looks like there's a couple comments too. I know somebody's relating to what you said. Um, I'm looking up here.
Shall I put my glasses on?
Yeah, Laura says, I've always had the knee pads too, and I've had ankles, but my calves and hips are 100% obvious. Elizabeth says, that also sounds like a good plan for those with arthritis and inflammation. I think that was from a
Yes.
previous conversation there. And then Francis says, also sizing is not consistent between brands. What I want to add to that is, I know this
Yes.
last year I have ordered so many things online, and what I found is, because I'll try it on and then I'll send it back. I'll try it on and send it back. And so what I've
Yes.
found that's really helped me, because I haven't really went shopping a lot of places in person, which is probably my favorite way to
Mhm.
shop, just like Beth said.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
found like there's certain styles that I've found that are really kind of helpful, like to know, like I find something that fits me well, and then I tend to
Yes.
order something similar. I will say there are
Yes.
companies out there though. Actually, I just went to a women's conference about a week ago, and one of the ladies, I was looking to see if I could find it. There's companies out there though that you can order online, and they'll
Yeah.
send you something every month. Like, is it
Right.
Stitchery? I'm
Like
trying
a
to think of.
like a fit
Yeah, Fit
stitch
Stitch.
fit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
they were actually,
And
some of
they
the ladies
curate the
were
box.
highly recommending the company like that, because they said they pick stuff that you normally wouldn't be, normally getting, and remarkably enough, you can easily send it back, and um, it kind of puts you out of your comfort zone. So I think there's a couple ways you can
Yeah.
continue ordering what you think will fit and
Yeah.
works, or you can just kind of go
And
out
then
of your
there's
box.
And then there's also rental companies that you could try to look into as well, that as you're going in the journey, monthly, you can say, okay, I need 8 pieces. And then they send you 8 pieces each month. And maybe each month you change size. So that is also a way to do them now. I think somebody earlier asked something about, or said something about they had like thicker ankles. And so there is that also, where more columnar shaped legs, like where they're, I'm sure you've heard that sign, like cankles, like if you've had a thicker ankle, that is also typically lipedema as well. It's just a different shape. We come in all shapes and sizes. And even, uh, you know, skinny girls can have lipedema. There's usually pain associated and heaviness. Um, I would like to go back to, I forget who it was at the beginning that asked about the weight training and what was my plan. And so typically what I did was I did one was upper body day, the next was lower body day, then the middle day was full body, and then repeated upper body, lower body, full body. And that was how the 6 days went. And so I did a combination of machines and also free weights. And I also did about 200 sit-ups a day as well. And, you know, yeah, so it was definitely amazing. And quite frankly, I look back on how well accepted I was in the gym, because really it's kind of amazing that, you know, people were kind, you know, because, you know, a brand new person at 404 pounds, you know, getting in there every day can be different, right? You don't generally see that every day, because that person usually is not tapping in, right?
So,
I
Beth,
want to talk about some tips, because I'm sure that we're kind of getting close to wrapping up time and when we need to do some question and answers maybe. But I wanted to give some tips about the long term, and making sure that you do keep movement in your practice, that you, if you don't have it in your practice, to add it. And water movement is a great way to start. And it's helpful for everybody because it does stimulate the lymphatics, but it is particularly helpful for lipedema because it acts like a manual lymphatic drainage massage. Also, for people, I think it goes across all the surgeries, is that to make sure that you're continuing to incorporate your vitamin regime is important. And I personally believe that it's important to have some type of a protein drink. I think a protein drink is more optimal over a protein bar in the long term. But I also think that if you have a little, like, ooh, you're feeling a little like candy bar-ish, then you should opt for a protein bar over a candy bar any day. And I think that just because so many of the surgeries do have different absorption components, and how you can always be sure that you're getting in your nutrition with a protein drink, I think that is important. And you could use it as the way you start your morning, a mid-afternoon, mid-morning snack, or an afternoon snack, or even as your last thing of the night, to keep yourself going, even while you're sleeping. And then I think that the other thing, somebody had asked us about loose skin, right? Didn't somebody ask about that?
I don't know. If so, I've missed it. But
Hold
you
on.
know what? If you have comments about that, though, Beth, I think that's super helpful. We had it in our notes to kind of talk about a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit. I think
That was in
I
our
think it's
notes, right?
helpful. Yeah.
Somebody had asked the question, is it worth oh, here we are. Is it worth it to have a paniculectomy? This is the area I feel most secure about most of my life, and after this journey, just not sure if this would help me feel more successful. So this, now 85 pounds down so far, but I don't see the benefits in the mirror.
I
So
forgot
this
about the
mirror
before.
work,
So that was submitted before. Thank
yes,
you.
this mirror work is important, which I'm saying take a picture. So same thing, you could stand in the mirror and look at yourself as well. And that's really, really helpful, because you only have one you, right? And you're always going to be you throughout your life. And on this journey, I encourage you strongly to consider accepting yourself at every stage, along the stages. Embrace where you're at, and love yourself a little bit more. And remember that you are loved and you're alive and you should act that way. So, many times we have that little voice in our head that tells us things that likely aren't true. And I also encourage you to challenge those little voices and say, who is this true? Who told me it? Where did they get that idea from? And is it really true? And I pretty much think most times you're going to be like, well, that was Aunt Millie, and she, whatever. Here was her situation, and here's where she got these ideas with. And maybe they were true for her in that time, but really, probably not. Probably not applicable to me anymore. And start challenging those things so that you can come to acceptance, right?
And actually, I want to bring that up, like you were talking about the acceptance and mindset. When life does give you limits, because everybody doesn't always have the smoothest road. What would you say to? Because we're right around quarter till here, and what would you say to someone who maybe has had a bumpy road, or maybe everything hasn't gone exactly like they would have thought it might have? What would you say?
Imagine. You have to remember what I said in the beginning. You are a thriver because you chose this journey. You didn't choose this journey to sit down, right? You chose this journey so that you could stand up and stand up taller and come back stronger. And there are so many setbacks and there are so many life changes that occur during the journey, and so many curveballs, twists and turns, plot twists. But each time, if you can ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Then you can start tuning into how you navigate it. And remember that you always have the choice to make a different decision. And so you can always come back to the basics. I'm doing that right now. I'm getting back to basics in light of my 20-year anniversary. I'm going to see, regardless of the challenges that I have, how much closer I can get back to where I originally landed. You can make that change at any time too. So I just want to tell you one quick thing. I don't know if any of you have ever seen a dry brush, but a dry brush is one of the great tools that can help you with skin retraction. And basically, you're just stimulating your skin and the collagen. You're also moving your lymphatics. And if you utilize this along your body, you will see changes in how your skin texture appears. There's also massage gunning that also works. If you you just gently, I only gently do this. You just gently are putting it, and I love this one because it has this wide thing for those of us that don't have small parts, quite frankly. That's another way. And then just another simple piece is as autophagy. So I don't know if all of the bariatric surgeons are teaching this as part of their nutrition plans, but even something as small as making sure that you have a 12-hour window between when you're having your first ingestion and your last one, even just that alone will help. But if you get into, now it's a little bit more tricky for us, especially in the beginning, to make sure that you get everything in that you need because of the size. But you know, some people along the way can find that they can get to like, you know, 16/8 schedules. Um, and those types of things really help with skin retraction as well. And so that's just another trick. You can look up autophagy. It's spelled AUTOPHAGY, and see what things you know, you read up on that. Um, let's see. Um, anything else that you think we should talk
I
about,
think
Brenda?
just a closing point of bringing it all home. Like, is there anything you'd just say just
So
to sum it
wherever,
up?
yeah, I think wherever you are in your journey, and I wanted to say, Susan McCants, good luck with your sleeve coming up. I'm sure you're getting ready if you're not already in the phase. One of the things that I did for that I think amplified my success was I made sure if they told me that I had to do liquids for a week, I did it for 2 weeks. If they told me I had to do soft foods for 2 weeks, I did it for 3 weeks. And I just extended out um, each module, so to speak, a week or two, because I figured if I was already used to that, what harm was it going to do? It was only going to contribute. There was only going to be more healing if I took it slower, so to speak. So I'm just throwing that out there as a tip. Um, and I think regardless of where you're at, it's you should be so proud of yourself for embarking on the journey. And remember that you are in charge of your health. And you can, you know, you can bring in all kinds of people to help you, but ultimately it's you who's in charge of of where you're going uh, and how you're going to get there. And you can always change that, and you can always reach out for help, right? You know, coming to groups like this is really important. Coming to coaching, I do mentoring for weight loss patients as well, along with the fashion styling. I would encourage any of you who are here today to reach out to me for if you're interested in either of those, and we'll do a complimentary session, either a 1 hour mentoring or a 2 hour fashion styling. I'm really passionate about having people, men and women, who are on their journeys to be wearing clothes that are reflecting where they're currently at. You know, I just talked to a woman the other day who had lost 100 pounds and she still was wearing her same clothes. And I was like, that's just not even good for your psyche. You know, that's not even good for moving you along in your journey. So, um, you know, I think that Brenda has, you know, such great programs that she's offering here. And that's, you know, stay connected, stay connected. I do also have a Transforming You group that is a private group for women at the moment. So
And I just
that's on
put those,
Facebook.
yeah, I just put your links in both here on this webinar and then in the comment section, and I have also placed it on our Facebook page so that people, so Curvy Girl Beth, I'm going to go on to that real quick here, just show them what that looks like. Um,
Let's see,
Give
Susan.
me 1 second
Post.
here. It's going to pop up on our Facebook page, but I'm going to pop on your page here. Curvy Girl Beth,
Thanks.
and this is your website. So they can connect with you by coming here or Instagram or any of the others and looking at your socials.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah.
there
Oh, and
a
if
find
you're
button?
interested, look at that. This is at 4 o'clock today Pacific time, or what is that, 7 o'clock Eastern time. This is a tapping method. I don't know if any of you have ever used this, but tapping is like a technique where you can release stress, anxiety, pain, blah, blah, blah. And this is a full month's, every Wednesday at that time will be on my Facebook page, on Beth Rylaarsdam Facebook page, actually. That was a lot, Elizabeth. If you need a debrief, reach out as well.
So we can go to Curvy Girl Beth. I can pop on that real quick too.
I think for that particular thing, it's under it's not under Curvy Girl Beth. It's under my name, Beth Rylaarsdam.
Okay.
So BETHRYLAARSDAM. Yeah, that's where that will come today. And then the private group is called Transforming You.
And I think I put that link.
Look, there we are.
Here we are.
We are.
Stop sharing for a second, and I'll post this link for your
okay,
personal
now let me
page,
see what
because I think I had all the rest of them.
And Meg, thank you. Okay, FYI, I think the word Beth mentioned was autophagy. Yes, correct. Breakdown is recycled during stress starvation. Autophagy is just, yes. I wonder why oh, here. Autophagy is, yes, yes. Yeah. I do believe there's an autophagy component that automatically happens with surgical patients, but I don't know if you have anything to say about that, Brenda.
I really haven't researched it much, so I really don't, but it is an interesting topic. Elizabeth posted some information about that here.
Thank you, Sabrina. I appreciate that.
And Meg, thank you for joining us too. Meg is a friend of both Beth and I's.
Oh, so. Brenda, your microphone is muted.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Do you see it?
I do.
It says that it's muted. Yes.
There we go. We're undone. Okay. So no, thank you. Yes. And we appreciate all of you guys thank you for letting me know, guys. So just to kind of close, I just want to say, connect with Beth, whatever forum. She would love to have you as a friend, as a client, if that's something that you feel drawn to. She's got lots of experience and even just having a conversation. She does the discovery calls. Again, I posted the link, but you can find that on her website as well. So I just want to thank you, Beth, so much for being a part of all this, and I want to thank everybody for joining us. I also just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, ProCare Health, and we've been doing like little promotional things at the end, highlighting like new products and things like that. And I'm going to share that right now, if that's okay. We actually have 2 or 3 new products coming out this month. We've started doing a lot of therapeutics. And what I mean by therapeutics is things that kind of go along with bariatric multivitamins. So what I'm going to do just real quickly is I am going to pop on to our website here real quickly. So you're going to see me up here at the top, popping onto the ProCare Health website. It's procarenow.com. I'll copy that so that I can paste it. If anybody hasn't tried ProCare,
I love this vanilla protein powder, y'all.
Tell us about it, Beth. What you think?
Too, I love it. I've used it as just plain vanilla. I use it to make a shake with. I'm trying to follow an adrenal protocol that you need to have vitamin C, so either with orange juice or cherry juice, and just 100% concentrate. Or what I've done this week is I've just blended a few cherries as my ice, frozen cherries as my ice. I'm not worried about that amount of carbs getting it, like if it's a natural carb, I'm not worried about it. I think the taste is delicious. So yeah. And I did like the chocolate as well. I'm just personally trying to stay away from chocolate at the moment.
She also got to try the.
Oh, and
the dark chocolates that just went out. They're
Yes.
seasonal. So
Oh, well, you all need to keep a look out for those when they come back because those are so good. The chocolate calcium, and then some of the calcium chews I really enjoyed as well. I do have some of the mint ones that I do. I have one of those probably every other day, maybe. Um, but I can't remember which one I really liked the most of. There was one that I really liked the most of the calcium. I just can't remember which flavor it was
I know
of
you
those
tried the
two.
sea salted caramel, the dinner mint.
Yeah, yeah.
Tried all
I
those
mean,
little flavors.
I was I was full of calcium that weekend at WLSFA because I think every time I passed the booth, I took
She
one
came over
to
and
see
talked to
what's
me all
this
the time at the
flavor.
booth. It was fun. I am going to kind of just share here a little tiny graphic here to kind of highlight what we're going to talk about. So, one of the therapeutics, if you're wanting to promote heart health post bariatric surgery, we just came out with something called
Oh,
coenzyme Q10, which is a product that plays a central role in cellular energy production. Um, CoQ10 is something that is found
right.
throughout the body, but it can decline with age, and it helps to maintain a healthy heart and vascular system. So if that's something that's been recommended to you by a doctor or it's something you'd like to try, I'm going to pop back over here to the ProCare site. And basically, all you do is you go under this products button down here under therapeutics. When you click on that, it's actually on page 2. So at the bottom of this page, you'll click onto page 2, and I have it pulled up here. It is currently a one-time purchase is $24.99. If you're wanting to subscribe and save, you can set the amount however long you want.
Oh,
We
nice, Elizabeth. Good for you.
did she
I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I enjoyed also the multivitamin, and I just became a Oh, Brenda, we should say that. I just
Oh,
became an
yes. Thank you for
affiliate,
reminding me. Let me stop sharing my screen because we want to share that too
and
as well.
although I may be an influencer, so to speak, I only represent products that I like and use myself. So um, that's just how it is.
So what I want to share, if you instead of going directly to ProCare, if you use
It's
Beth's
Meg.
link and go to her site, basically you'll just log on. It'll look identical to ProCare's site. I'm going to share that link here in just a second. Um, Stay
Yeah,
with
it's on
me.
my website, I believe, at the top of the shop page.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad you mentioned that as well. I'll go ahead and I'm pulling it up while we're talking just to also have it here in the chat box, and I'll put it on Facebook here in just a second. Her referral code is CurvyBeth10, which will save you 10% off if you choose to use her
Yeah,
um,
I think it's Curvy Girl Beth, isn't it?
Curvy Girl
Is it?
Beth. Yes, I'm sorry if I said
Is
it
it?
incorrectly. So I'm typing that in now, and I'll share it.
Um,
And code.
let's see.
And it's not case sensitive. So that'll save you for 10% off.
Which is excellent. Um, oh yeah, it's on my links page on my Instagram too.
She's got it everywhere. We actually, Beth and I was on the phone for some time, yet a hot minute yesterday, weren't we, Beth? Catching
Yes.
up on life, and she just decided to become an affiliate because she's been using some of the ProCare products. She believes in them and she loves them. So
Yeah.
thank you,
Yeah.
Beth.
I really love that vanilla a lot.
We kind of have our affiliate program on hold right now if anybody else is interested, but we ended up, because Beth is on our program today and she was going live, we thought we would add that for her. So thank you,
Oh,
Beth.
Meg
And
likes the capsule. Okay, so Meg has been on her success journey for the past year and she likes the ProCare One capsule. I like the chewable, um, just because it's easier for RNY. Um, and yes, Elizabeth, I am just all about authenticity. So just how it is.
you know what, in life, that's all that really
Oh,
matters is being your true self.
maybe the chocolate calcium is the one that I liked. Is that the one that I liked,
Yeah, the
Brenda?
chocolate
I
calcium.
gotta go look and see if I have a sample of that. Anyway,
Anyways,
so feel free to reach out to me with any questions on any of the platforms. I'm not sure what's the best way, but um, if you just want to chat, go into my website and work through and do the discovery call. And uh, yeah, that's it.
that is it. And also, I just want to kind of give a shout out to so finding Beth on her website, which we have posted, Curvy Girl Beth, easy to find. I also wanted to mention that we are. I'm going to exit out of this and go to our ProCare site. I also wanted to mention all of our live events, including this
Yeah,
one, will
what's the
be on
next one?
replay. And we actually have under our ProCare site, if you go here where it says Bari Connected, we have a hub. Beth's call will be on replay, so you can actually use the same link. It's going to take it about 10 minutes to process, and then it will be on replay, so almost immediately, by using the same link. And that will be available. It's right here above her name. That will be available until the end of the month. And then we also are putting everything on our ProCare Health YouTube channel. So I am going to also show you where that is, and that is ProCare Health Vitamins and Supplements. I'll paste the link. We have just started sharing. We've been actually sharing events there for 2 years, but we just started promoting it just this last month. So I'm excited about what we're offering here. There's playlists, all kinds of great stuff. We have recipes, we have frequently asked questions, all kinds of really fun stuff on there. So I'll post that link too. I'm gonna stop sharing. So all kinds of great resources for you guys.
And what's the next program? When is it?
Okay, I will
Sorry,
check
we just
that
got.
out. No, it's good. I'm just posting links here. One tiny second. I'm going to post that YouTube, and then I'll post those over to Facebook as well.
Thanks for joining us, Guadalupe.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. Okay. Sorry, I'm like not very quick here, but I'm getting it done. I'm getting her done. Okay, here's the YouTube one, and then I'll post those here. And Beth, to answer your question, the very next one that we're offering is actually, let's see, it keeps popping that right back up here. It is Dr. Susan Mitchell, and she's talking about 7 bariatric friendly carbs you'll love and that fight a fatty liver. Dr. Susan Mitchell is a dietitian who also has her PhD, and she has a podcast, and she has all kinds of great topics. You can kind of look her up ahead of time if it's something you're interested in. But that next one is June 14th at 1 p.m. Central Time. And you just get onto our
Weekly.
page and you click
The
here.
weekly.
We have almost weekly events. This month here, we're going to be traveling quite a bit. At the end of the month, we're going to the Bari Diaries cruise. If anybody's interested in that, they can check that out, Bari Diaries cruise. And we're also going to be attending ASMBS, which stands for American Society for Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery, their annual conference. So we'll be attending that. So watch for pictures on socials. We'll be posting things, or look for us and let us know that you're there. Come by our booth. Oh, Meg says, see you at ASMBS. Wonderful. I love Madison, who is also on this call, or was on this call, who is my daughter. She also works for ProCare. She'll be there as well. So come by and say hi to us. Nick, our CEO, will be there. Almost like a lot of our sales reps will be there. So Jennifer, Amanda, we're going to be joined by the Our Sleeve Life Girls. They're coming with us as well. So come by and say hi. And Meg, please come by and see me. Madison says she can't wait to see everybody. So I think that's everything I have. Beth, do you have anything else?
No, I was just looking at the comments to see if there was anything that we didn't. Oh, there's Madison. See that now. Is a conference for bariatric or just for professionals? It's typically a professional conference.
Yeah, that one, I mean, there are patients there, but I would say a lot of the patients are actually professionals a lot of times. Like you'll have nurses and dietitians that have bariatric
Mm-hmm.
surgery, but also are there as
Sure.
a professional, maybe work out of a weight loss surgery clinic and that type of thing. I've seen that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like once you
Mm-hmm.
get in that community, it's easy to kind of be swayed to have bariatric surgery because you see how safe and how wonderful the results are.
I do want to say two things. If anyone is here in Los Angeles, I'm in Los Angeles. I don't know if we said this. Please reach out. Would love to meet up if you're so interested. And then anybody who is attending the Obesity Action Coalition, which will be in Orlando in September.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right. And then Obesity Help, which is here in Costa Mesa. This year, please let me know so we can connect there. I would, of course, love to meet you.
And ProCare will be coming to those too as well. So we'll be all connecting there as well. Um, there's just lots of bariatric things going on out there. So yeah, join us, guys, if you're able to. I know traveling sometimes can be a little different. It looks like we got a few. How do we find out about conferences that patients can attend? Um, I would say really I want there to be a central site for all of these because I think it's so helpful. I've been talking to Nick, who's our CEO, about adding them to our site. But I would say the ones that we talked about is Obesity Help. I'm typing them here. Um,
That's the 15th and 16th or something.
we also talked about Bari Diaries Cruise. We've also talked
Cruise.
about, we haven't talked about Bariatric Society, but they have one as well. Um,
That's November.
we
That's
have
November in Texas.
the
Oh, there's Meg, the Shy Weekender is coming up in August,
oh
right?
the Tea Weekender that
That's,
she is
but
actually
that
Meg is
one is a
holding one as
fun,
well.
that's really for fun.
Yes, she is
That's
holding
for
one.
bariatric having fun.
We're also has the Just Be You
That's not going to be that's not going to be
awards.
filled with speakers, right? Right, Meg?
Um, Gosh, what else do we have? We also have. Did we miss any others?
Obesity help. Obesity help. Did we say that?
We did. We ASMBS. So I have a few of
Obesity.
them.
What's the
Yes,
other
we need to
one?
add these to a central event place. And look up,
Obesity help.
since Meg's on this
Barry
call, go
Diners,
look up her
Bariatrics
Chi
is a Shy
Weekender. It's in
Weekend, Just Be
Chicago.
You Awards, OSLP, ASMBS. What's the one that we forgot? Oh, the Obesity Action.
Obesity Action. I'll put that on there too.
The weekend is to promote social support in community. I know. I need to see about that, Meg. I think that's the weekend that school starts. It's not
And
opportunity.
Meg just ordered her Berry Adventures one that's in Chicago. So, but and ProCare is sponsoring that too. So go check it out. Right, Meg? We may be. I don't know if it's a surprise yet or not, but there may be a free ticket or two be going out there to a lucky winner. So keep keep that in mind. Be watching for that. But um, so we're going to go ahead and in this session, we want to thank everybody for being a part of this. We appreciate all of your energy, your time. That's the most valuable thing you can give to anyone. And Beth, thank you. And everybody just have a wonderful day wherever you are.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye for now. See you again.